people for the people. But the people are retarded.
Now the Ukraine, and St. Patrick's name is now Zelensky.
What do we do now?
Developing through technology an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
Back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Fuck Joe Biden.
Refuse to go along with this, and I've seen through all of your lies, Barack Obama, you wicked, wicked devil!
Welcome back to another night of shtick with Koolfrogg. That Alex Jones clip always gets me, and I hadn't seen it in the last 5 days, so it just hit me really hard. That's some good stuff. It's a comeback show. I'm here. I'm here. I'm telling you, I'm here. I really don't know what I'm going to talk about, who I'm going to talk to, if anybody's even going to be here. I let everybody know that I was going to be here, but there's Mitchell. Hey, what's up, Mitchell? Like I said, it's a comeback show. Where is everybody? Everybody's supposed to come and actually say, "Yeah, you're back." There it is. I got Mitchell saying, "Welcome back, welcome back." Thanks, buddy. Let's see. I'm going to go through my show setup here real quick just to see if there's anything old that I had in there that I should just bring up. What is this? Oh, that's not. Oh, here. Let's bring this up. I was going to do a show last night, and I had a clip that I had pulled up that I was going to go through and I was going to talk about, and I thought it was fairly interesting. And I really don't need to read the article. It comes from the Place, and it's about Whoopi Goldberg. And it says, the views Whoopi Goldberg blasts San Francisco bishop for denying communion to Pelosi. This is not your job, dude. It literally is dude's job. That's exactly what the bishop is intended to do. The bishop is there to create the rules of the church. And to follow them or not to follow them has nothing to do with, of course, then I'm not sharing it correctly. I'm so boomer in this right now. This is ridiculous. As you can tell, I haven't been around for a few days. Anyway, so this is the views Whoopi Goldberg blasts San Francisco bishop for denying communion to Pelosi. This is not your job, dude. It literally is dude's job. There was a sentence that actually said that too, and it was funny because I'm like, oh, that's funny. But so Whoopi Goldberg, here it is, right here. Responsibility of the Archbishop, literally his job to enforce church discipline against her, and that's exactly what he's doing. And then I seen there's something, and I'm going to see if I can't pull it up here while we're watching Whoopi here real quick.
Welcome to the View, y'all. The abortion rights.
Welcome to the View, y'all. Because that's the way we all talk. Stop it, Whoopi. Nobody wants to hear your pear-shaped talk.
This battle is starting to blur the lines between church and state. The Archbishop of San Francisco is calling for Speaker Nancy Pelosi to be denied receiving communion because...
As she should. When you go and you actually murder babies on a regular basis, you should. You should be denied. You should be denied. And, should Pelosi come out today or whatever? Oh, you should... It shouldn't be that you only go against the one. when not the other. What do I got here? Oh, sweet. Welcome, Mike.
What up, Koolfrogg?
What's up, man?
Welcome back.
Thank you so much. It feels weird to actually be doing something that I hadn't been in the last, so many days. Like totally boomering through this. Forgetting YouTube's, algorithm is going to actually probably kick me for some reason.
How do I stream? What can I say?
Can't I say? Oh, I can't say something? But we were talking about this Nancy Pelosi and her nasty butt, and what Whoopi had blasted her about for being denied from the bishop. And it seriously even says it in this article that it literally is the bishop's job to deny people or to implement the laws and whatever, enforce them. It is like, if you're Catholic like I am, there's just certain things that you just don't believe in, like abortion.
And it is literally this guy's job to do this.
Right, exactly. It is his job to seriously do this. Here, let's see if I could just minimize this for a second. See, there it is, highlighted. Literally his job to enforce church discipline against her. Exactly. So then I seen that she had come out today, and she had said something about, because I made a comment. I can actually pull it up. I made a comment on YouTube or on Twitter because I seen her saying something about the idiocy of this and not going after. Let's see what she say here.
Just why does this is the same Whoopi Goldberg who made super racist comments just a month or so ago?
Mm-hmm. So then it was Pelosi says, why doesn't Catholic Church punish death penalty supporters? Because the people that are on death penalty literally put themselves there by doing something that was against the church in the first place. Just saying. There's 10 commandments. It's so easy to follow those 10 commandments and not follow them at the same time. When you F up and all of a sudden you're like, oh, why don't you punish people for the death penalty support? And it's like, because they F'd up and they deserve to be, whatever, they're pedophiles or they're whateverness, and they're, all the stuff that they go through, that they've done, they need to be actually probably maybe, face the death penalty.
Well,
Nancy
and that's
Pelosi.
such a bad faith argument because they know what the difference is between an infant and someone on death row.
Right, because the infant did absolutely nothing wrong. There's nothing the same at all in there. And that's what I'm saying. This is murdering children. It's disgusting.
AmericaShirts, that joke hurt me physically.
Oh, I didn't even see him in there. My Koolfrogg was... good night, Mitchell. Thanks for showing up. Koolfrogg is a hop and a skip away from you now. Literally, we are. It was so close to you. I don't think I actually explained to you where I actually am. Offline, I'll explain to you where I actually am. Because he's a frog. I'm so funny, right? No, you're not funny because of that, but I'm literally super, super close. Like, you'd be amazed. Did I tell you where I live?
If you did, I forgot.
Okay, I'll let you know when we're not in here. I'll go through that quick with the...
Wait, you're not going to dox yourself?
No. I did the whole time that I was before I moved, whatever. I kept on talking about Minnesota and being from Minnesota and this, that, and the other from Minnesota, and I'm like not telling anybody where I'm at now, just because of where it is, and there's more people involved in personal life than there were. So it's like, nah, I can't technically put them in harm either. Just not that I'm going to put them in harm, but you just know what people are going to actually do. People don't like people that have opinions, so.
And that shirts guy seems pretty sketchy.
One of the sketchier ones. Let's listen to Nancy here quick.
Because of her pro-choice stance.
Or
He's one of the priests who also called
this
for
lady.
President Biden to be denied sacrament. This is not your job, dude. That is not, you can't, that is not up to you to make that decision. You know, what is this?
And like we were just talking about, it literally is dude's decision. He can actually make that decision for anybody, for any reason whatsoever.
Literally his job.
He can make a stupid reason not to give you communion just because he doesn't want to give it to you. That's his job. He doesn't want to give it to you.
Why are these people offended? They're not religious in the first place.
I don't get that either. I've never understood them actually saying that they're, religious, that they're all Catholic and they're all this, that, and the other. And it's like,
I mean, if you actually thought these were like the bad people the view constantly harps on religion as being, why would you care? I don't care that the Ku Klux Klan doesn't want me at their rallies. Good. I don't want to be there either. Right?
No, right? Who wants to be there?
Why are they so upset about this?
What the fuck? I don't know. And then, then it gets exacerbated by people like Whoopi Goldberg. And she just goes and she just like makes it fester.
Saying it's kind of amazing.
I mean, she's a festering pile of just crap. So,
she's just shaped like a pear. I mean, yes. Did I just pick on her for being overweight? Absolutely. Go for a walk. Quit sitting around blabbering about your leftist crap.
What is the point of communion, right? It's
What is the point of communion?
for sinners. It's for sinners.
No, it's not. It's for forgiveness. It's for the sins that we do on a daily basis, such as the small things like lying to each other.
the part beef communion is all about that. Communion is about your relationship with Jesus and symbolically reaffirming that by welcoming him into your life. And you can't,
as you can tell, I haven't been
there killing babies.
practicing religion for a while. But yeah, I said that wrong. Yeah, either way, however you look at it, when you think about it, you just it's like, for this lady, AmericaShirts is obviously talking to us, and I'm not paying attention to him. You're so close. It's must be all atrazine in the water. Says the literal whoopee cushion who sounds like a fart every time she talks. Different at the point. Doesn't, and he just says what difference at this point does it make? And he's right, because I mean, really, what's the difference? You're not being allowed to take a little circled piece of bread and eat it. It's because you. Just like anybody else. Like I said, Nancy Pelosi threw this bullshit out today or whatever, where she's complaining that we don't treat death penalty, people the same way. It's like, well, because they're most likely, repented and said they were sorry for the shit that they did, even though they have to now
you're
die.
Definitely not allowed to have communion on death row until you have a serious come to Jesus moment. That is also a way to get kicked out of the Catholic Church, because what it takes to get on death row are horrible murders and or horrific crimes to children. So yeah, no, that's like another way to get them to tell you no.
Did you just say everybody in this administration should be considered a murderer and a felon and should be sitting in prison?
I mean, prison's too good for these people. They commit crimes against humanity, but that's a completely different rant.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, yep. Pull at the guillotine.
Under the prison. We're going to put them under the prison.
Tell her to drown in a barrel of vodka. She's not going to drown. She's going to float.
Also, she wouldn't fit in a barrel. I mean, just look at that. She is the barrel.
Walking pile Vodka.
It's the reward of saints, but the bread of sinners. How dare you?
Ice cream.
How dare you? That is, if Pope Francis says that
How dare you?
that's the issue, but own issues about what's right and wrong
Well,
in
he
your
isn't.
church.
Pope Francis is not pro-choice.
No.
But he is also against capital punishment. And I don't see anybody denying, what's his name, Abbott, Governor Abbott in Texas, who is a Catholic, he's executed many people. I don't see them saying that he can't receive communion.
Yeah.
So the hypocrisy is in the church, too. It also depends on each archdiocese. So that this is why Nancy could get communion in Georgetown.
You know what
because
defines
that particular
an archdiocese?
archdiocese was okay with it. So everybody's
The bishop.
different.
It's also
So what she
possible
just
to be
said is
personally
that this is the
pro-life
bishop's
and
job
to
to
legislate.
Interesting. Let's pull that back a few seconds here.
So that this is why Nancy could get communion in Georgetown, because that particular archdiocese was okay with it. So everybody's different.
It's also
So everybody's different. So it was just the one guy that was having an issue in California that didn't want to give her what she wanted. She felt she deserved to receive communion. And really, there's a lot more to it. You should... I don't receive communion, and I'm actually, baptized, confirmed Catholic type thing or whatever. I'm not going to go... I seriously don't, even when I'm physically in a church, will not walk up and take communion because I don't feel that I'm actually have been with the church enough to actually receive such a thing. There's obviously things in my life that I need to work on before I could even think that I should deserve such a thing. Nancy Pelosi does not deserve it.
possible to be personally pro-life and to legislate pro-choice, which is also an option, because everything I ever learned in church was that eventually you face your maker. It's you yourself face your maker. So your decisions and whatever you believe will be on account. It will not be crossing into everyone else's lane. The Catholic Church has some stuff to do on themselves. And so that has happened over the last decades, where we watch they will fight for this cause, and yet they will allow people that have been abused by the leaders in their communities, they will shove those stories aside and continue to protect their own in the name of the PR of the church.
Like Nancy Pelosi
That is disgusting to me. And so the fact that, shame on the church, by the way, because communion is also...
How many of the Epstein
Eucharist
associates
is
among Democrats have been prosecuted again? Right? Like, these people literally covered for Epstein and his clients who raped children, and now are talking about someone else's covering up pedophiles. Right? This is getting into that whole go ahead and remove the log from your own eye kind of thing, where the lack of self-awareness to realize they are larger pedophile apologists than anyone in the Catholic Church.
AmericaShirts just says we're just different. Everybody's different.
the noun. Communion is about communing the community of the church, bringing them together.
I think it's important to point out that I have friends who are in the church, and not
Do you have friends that are in the church? You're not in the church?
everybody is like the rest of the... What
No, I'm saying, but the leaders of the church have been the ones
I know
shoving
that.
them.
But I feel bad that some of the good priests that I know, and not I know...
This is why
They're
women
great
can't be leaders
priests.
in the
I'm saying the
church.
church in general has had so many things come out about the abuse they hid, and those are lives too, if they need to be reminded. Those are living children that have now suffered.
So let me remind people, you know, on this panel, you were raised Catholic, Joe, you were raised Catholic, you're a devout Catholic, I was raised Catholic, 12 years of Catholic education.
12 years of Catholic education.
Oh, ABC is one of the networks that hid the Epstein story while having proof. So just to make it clear, this show, all of these people are paid by people who hid child rape for Democrats and for elites. Right? This criticism that they're leveling at the Catholic Church is something they themselves have done when they covered for Jeffrey Epstein, helping to facilitate child pimping.
Well, I'm just as smart as this lady at the end in white because I also have 12 years of Catholic education.
I only got 9. Dang.
The Catholic Church has lost 20% in attendance since the year 2000.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're against artificial birth control.
Because they're against artificial birth control. Sure, but at the same time, they're not going to sit there and enforce it. They're not going to come into your house and be like, "Did you use birth control?" I'm kind of against birth control personally. I've never really.
Things that I think are good ideas, right? Like not taking birth control and having children, or not aborting babies, or any of the many other things she's about to say.
Right. I mean, again, I don't use, protection because I don't really care for it. I never really cared for it. I think I tried it once. Maybe that's why I have 3 children.
Likes it raw. Oh yeah.
Yes, raw dog.
They are against in vitro fertilization.
They're against in vitro fertilization. I mean,
Neat.
I guess. I mean, some of them, not all of them. Because, as you can see, not all Catholics think the same. Because you have 5 of them right here that are thinking against, what the Catholic religion really actually believes.
They won't give you communion if you're divorced or...
That's false. They will give you communion if you're divorced. If you actually go and you actually repent and you actually show that you are devoted to the church, they will actually give you. That's what the problem is. When you divorce, right? When you divorce and remove yourself from the other person that you married in that particular church, yes, they're going to have an issue with you. But they will take you back as long as you're willing to actually, put yourself there to actually, believe that you actually believe Jesus is alive. Jesus is there to actually, take care of your issues. As long as you're willing to actually repent to the church, they will give to you. So, yeah, I mean, she's kind of half wrong on that.
Or if you're a gay couple, and because...
If you're a gay couple. I mean, there seems to be a lot of churches recently that have actually changed that a little bit, where they're actually allowing same-sex marriages, though the Catholic religion kind of frowns on it. It seems as they're trying, they seem to be coming around a little bit more because it's just the way the world is. It's just accept.
I mean, honestly, they shouldn't.
I agree. They shouldn't.
I don't care about the legal one. I believe there's lots of good legal reasons for partnerships among gay people, but that is different than the religious case. And again, why are you so upset their club doesn't see things the way you do, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, why are you trying to control the He-Man Woman Haters Club? That's pretty much the way I'm, it's like, stop trying to tell them how to treat, do their thing. And just let them do their thing the way they're told to do it or how they're meant to do it. When they say we're not giving you communion, we're not giving you communion.
Well, these
doesn't matter who the fuck you are. It doesn't matter if you have money or if you're rich or if you're popular or you're not. That's not where it comes from. What were you going to say?
I mean, these are people who just never bothered to learn about religion in the first place, assuming that they have anything useful to say because they're clucking hens on ABC.
This clucking hen right here said that she's got 12 years of education in Catholic school.
I mean, I believe she fell asleep in the back of a Catholic classroom for 12 years. She's clearly has no education.
Because of things like this. Because
right?
they're
Sitting in the garage doesn't make you a car.
Maybe a pothead, but no, not a car.
Fertilization. They won't give you communion if you're divorced or if you're a gay couple. And because of things like this, and in the meantime, if they really want to protect children, they have tallied 17,000 at least complaints of molestations by priests since the year 1980.
Yeah.
They have paid $4 billion or more in
Epstein
settlement claims
alone,
for
who
pedophilia.
ABC covered up for, has about 10% of that body count, allegedly.
But to himself, right? Exactly. They're worried about.
I mean, him and the Democrat elite that they sold children to, that this network knowingly covered up for, because ABC had the footage used before that broke and refused to cover it. So, you know.
Huh. Years. Not months, years.
Yeah, I mean, they have a reporter saying on film that they spiked the story.
It's crazy. Oh, look at that. We have somebody by the name of AmericaShirts.
Nancy, go drown yourself in a goddamn bucket of vanilla ice cream.
I mean, I really appreciate her let them eat ice cream moment during the lockdowns where she was showing off her home.
Well, it's tons of ice cream there. There's lots of ice cream. Lots of ice cream. I have just caramel vanilla flavors. It's so good. I have chocolate vanilla. It's great. It's so good.
Ladies and gentlemen, AmericaShirts. This fat piece of crap right here.
So if you want to protect children, Archbishop, instead of sheltering pedophilia, pedophile priests, instead
Also,
of
all of
moving
those
them
cases were from the 80s and 90s. The Catholic Church had already cleaned up by the time the media started advertising this. All of the alleged pedophiles were like old people that had been retired.
Right, there are a lot of them retired. The few in each state that did get charged with things, because I know there was quite a few of them in my home state that had actually gone through. Like there was a list of, I want to say about
Right,
30,
we're not talking about people who were
30
organizing
priests.
pedophilia in 2010, the way Epstein, the friend of this network, was.
No, right, exactly. Let's just go back and we'll talk, 80s and 90s and talk about the priests that did it. Because, who cares about who's doing it now? We don't care about who's doing it right now. Because who's doing it right now are our friends. That's what they're saying. They're their friends.
to other churches without telling the community, instead of protecting them, you should be protecting the children who go get Catholic education in your churches.
It's only 4%.
Or how about the kids that you promote to kill before they can breathe air to take Catholic education, biatch? How about that one?
Well,
you
you let
fat
us know
ass
how you
bitch.
really feel.
I swear to God, this mouthy, freaky, fascistic, fat ass woman. Did I say she has a fat ass? I think she said it. She's like,
I did.
She is very. I mean,
To be
if we
fair,
could just
having a fat
compare-
ass would require she had a shape besides blob.
Well, that
41 subscribers. Thank you to whoever just subscribed. That's awesome.
Well, yes. It's true. Yeah, thanks. Crap. No, let's drop something. Anyway.
Oh, usually AmericaShirts goes off on a longer rant than that.
It's only
Let's go.
4% of
Well,
the
the
bad
blob
priests.
comment kind of caught me off
4%.
guard there. It's totally true.
I just feel it incumbent upon me not to be protecting the church, but to point out for my
incumbent
own
upon you.
friends, it's people I know.
She's not a
They're
Catholic. She
lying.
has
It's
no
too
need to
many.
criticize someone else's organization. Go the hell away.
Yeah, she's a Satanist. What? Who? I don't know. Who said that? I don't know. Hear anything?
All right, it's a Catholic church.
I understand. Listen,
That is true. It's only
That is true. Are you sure that's true? Are you just going to say that?
I feel it incumbent upon me not to be protecting of the church, but to point out for my own friends, people I know who are good people.
It's too many.
All right,
it's a Catholic church.
I understand.
How many Epstein victims are there?
One is too many. Regardless if they're in a Catholic church, down in the corner of the freaking street, or in their own privacy of their own home.
One child.
It doesn't
killed.
matter where that child was to get raped, touched, done whatever, wherever, whoever wanted to do with them as they pleased. It doesn't matter where the fuck they are. Never.
At least they would be breathing air instead of dead. Like that. That's another step above being dead.
Depending on what happened to them before they died. Because, if certain things happened and they were still alive, it's just as bad as actually just allowing them to actually just die. Because, dang well, if somebody was raped and then they were allowed to live by all these elites, there would be shit flying. Somebody would eventually get caught up in that. But they make sure they take care of all their nastiness.
That's true.
Bohemian Grove.
Of course it's unacceptable. And the Catholic Church is trying to, come to account with its terrible past of not only abusing children and its pedophilia, but also what it did in many of its missions and, with Native American children as well. So there have been a lot of problems with the Catholic Church. And as a devout Catholic, I am really troubled by the Church's history.
Because you're right, all five of them.
You know what? What the hell? I'm Catholic too. There we go. I am the most Catholic person in this room. I am so damn Catholic. I have goddamn freaking pictures of every freaking pope since
says the least Catholic
second
person.
Millennia past. I'm just I'm so Catholic. Although I'm not as Catholic as these individuals, because these individuals, they're so Catholic they kill children. I just it's so Catholic.
They're trying to steal the church. Is basically what they're doing. They're trying to say, all this leftism is, we're all Catholics.
Oh, and
we
by
all
the way,
believe the
I'm
same.
sure
And you should believe the way we do.
Right. I'm sure that Pope Francis would agree with every bit of this, because he's just as much of a satanic asshole as these freaks are.
Right.
But, hey, it's the people, ladies and gentlemen, that are the church. It's not whoever the hell claims that I'm the representative of God now, and you can kill your kids. That's not a I'm sorry, it just doesn't fly.
Some of the ongoing issues, but let me say this. I have learned from you ladies on this show, having been here for 5 years, not to politicize my religion. Right? And so
welcome back, Mike.
Wait a minute. You don't politicize your religion. What the hell? You promote Satanism all the goddamn time in Hollywood. What the hell's wrong with you? Of course you do.
They're literally politicizing it right now, right this moment, to make money. That is a lie.
At this split second that they're talking, right. Obviously, this is a few days ago, but yeah.
I'm not. I don't use religion to go after people, and then he makes this quote about going after people with religion directly after that. It's just shut up, just shut up. He said that on the campaign trail when people are accusing him of being I'm so full of faith, I have such a strong belief in everything in the Bible, and people are well, you are a practicing homosexual. That's not exactly looked upon with glee. You want to explain that? Of course not. You're the asshole. Anyway.
Wrong. And I believe that the Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches that pro-life extends from conception
what the hell does
through
that word
natural
mean?
death. If you are a practicing Catholic, as Bill Barr is, as
everybody's Catholic.
Oh, he is? Do you go to Black Mass with him?
Just to be clear, she admits that abortion is against the Catholic faith.
She did. She admitted it.
Okay.
From conception to natural death.
Greg Abbott,
Actually, say
and
natural
you
death.
should be pro-life from conception through natural death. And the issue that I have with these politicians politicizing their religion is the hypocrisy.
It's a bishop. You're the only one politicizing it. You and Nancy Pelosi.
Right. Exactly. Nancy Pelosi's the one that politicized this. She brought it up. She made it a point. The bishop told her, no, you don't get it. She's, all right, let's bring it to the View and make the View talk about it.
I mean, can we think about this for just a second? I mean, doesn't she take her own sort of like satanic communion? Like, isn't that what vampires do? Like, isn't that, you know, like they do that, like, what is that, every night or something, I guess, you know? Like, they don't need the blood of Christ to save them. They just try and, like, you know, suck the blood out of everybody else to save themselves, right? Anyway.
Because when you look at the Catholic Church and these bishops, the death penalty, you know, so this includes the death penalty, right? And when Bill Barr was the AG, he was honored for his service to the church at the National Catholic Prayer Breakfast. Yeah. And that prayer breakfast included an address from the twice divorced president at the time. And Greg Abbott is another Catholic who's a proponent of the death penalty. There's also the Second Amendment. If you are truly a pro-life Catholic, then you have to support
Bible tells you to get a sword.
Reform.
Yeah, just kill me now. Like, the level
like
of
Jesus literally tells you to get a sword and be ready. Straight up. So, no, Catholics, if they followed the Bible, would support the right of people to keep and bear arms. This lady is just lying for political gain.
She's not even saying her own words. You see what she's looking at right now, right?
Yeah.
Right. She's reading something that somebody else wrote down for her to actually read, and it's not her own point. This is not her thoughts. This is somebody else's thoughts that are coming out of this thought's mind.
So you have to be consistent, and the church just is not consistent. And
Greg Abbott has overseen 55 executions.
And Bill
Abbott's
For
overseen
justice.
55 executions. Name the 55 that were executed and what they did to actually get executed, and try again.
Barr actually
55
under his watch, the
Well,
federal
they're against the
government
death
began to
penalty
execute
because
prisoners
we
for
all
the
knew
first
all the
time
things
since
that they did. They
2003.
might
So why are they
take
weaponizing
that themselves. So anyway,
Maybe.
Under his watch, the federal government began to execute prisoners for the first time since 2003. So why are
Nancy
they
Pelosi
weaponizing?
didn't.
Apparently Mike's
Pelosi
having
didn't.
some
But that's the
issues.
point. But
Why
the
are they
church did that.
weaponizing? Why are they
that's the
weaponizing the
question.
sacrament
Welcome back, Mike.
against Nancy Pelosi, but not treating Bill
Internet
Barr
being
and Greg
special.
Abbott and other
Because
I gotta come back a few seconds.
Well, because all those reasons you gave are retarded.
Why are they
that's the
weaponizing the
question.
sacrament against Nancy Pelosi, but not treating Bill Barr and Greg Abbott and other
go make a request to your
this is how,
lovely
this is
Jesuit
how
Pope and
it
ask
become-
him. Tell him, make a request to your Royal Highness there in the Vatican. There, make a request to him. I'm sure he would love to come onto the View and explain this all. Right? Just go ahead and
This is
do
like
that. Right?
Whoopi Goldberg actually have like money in ABC? Like, does she own something? Is there a reason that she gets to stick around for so long? Is this her show?
I don't think so.
I mean, for all the people, she just needs to go. So sick of looking at her fugliness. Seriously, look at her. I mean, she's just freaking pear. She needs to go go exercise and quit bitching about stupid shit. So now that we listened to the other four, you get to finish off with this lady again.
an issue. This is how
mean, look, she's
abortion
wearing
became
pink. She
an
is a
issue
Whoopi
because
Goldberg.
people forgot.
Right?
Look, like, I mean,
Have you seen her trying to walk lately? She can't.
I was about to say trying to walk.
She simply cannot.
Wobbles.
No matter how hard she tries.
I mean, I don't know who's worse. Is it Jerry Nadler or is it her? Like, I don't know. I mean, they both have an orbit. I'm sure that they have probably 2 moons each by now orbiting around their equator, around their waist. Like, I think.
I mean, we can clearly see Whoopi has 4 here. They're trapped in her gravitational pull. That's
You see him sitting there, right?
Oh my God, it's so perfect.
What you don't realize is the whole stage is rotating to keep sync with the orbit.
Yes. Yes.
I'm always gonna see that now. Every time I see the view, I'm gonna be like, look at this orbit.
Although it's weird, like, isn't Pluto the smallest one that's supposed to be farthest away? Like, the second biggest one is farthest away here. Like, this is kind of weird. That's got to throw some kind of gravitational pull off course somehow a little bit. There's got to be
You have some
wobbling
gravitational pull of her own.
Some gravitational lensing. That's how they get these shots. Really, the cameraman's like 5 miles away, and it's all refraction.
Yes. Yes. You can't get too close, or you will be dragged in.
You'll become trapped as another airhead on the view.
Yes. That's why they all have to stick around there until the show or the set like burns down, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Becomes an issue. This is how abortion became an issue, because people forgot why it was put in place. It was not put in place to do anything but keep women safe and clean.
Right.
So they
keep women safe and clean. Kill me now. Oh my God. I can't even like.
I stopped it because I'm like, one of you has to have something to say about safe and clean. Seriously? What? That's not why abortion was created.
put in place to
keep them
do
safe and
anything
clean?
but
What a
keep
frickin'
women
lie.
safe and clean. Right. So they weren't doing this in bathrooms. And then it became about, well, I don't think it's a good thing. And you can have these discussions if you want. You're looking at me like you don't know what I mean.
No,
Sorry,
well,
just
you're saying
to
that's why
like
it
make
became
sure
an
I'm
issue
keeping
for the
up with the
Catholic
bullshit
Church?
here. The people who say mentally ill men wearing a skirt can go to the women's bathroom are now talking about other people's standards for female safety?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Because you can kill your children and then molest young girls, but you can't give birth to children and have families, because that's the new world order, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we want.
I mean, I just wouldn't think a dog acting this way was doing well, right? Like, if it was out attacking babies and trying to, like, mess with other dogs while they're peeing and just kept yapping all the time, like, that's signs that you need to take better care of your dog. Like, these people just come across as ill. Very, very ill.
That's why it
That
became
face
an
looks
issue.
constipated, so she must be pretty
Politicians,
ill.
yeah. Because
Very
it
ill.
then became about
Like I said, a lot of depends going around this room.
It became about, well, my religion says that I shouldn't do this. Right. And the response
Whoopi's
to
gonna
that
scream
is,
about how the
okay,
heart attack
don't.
is racist
You're
when
not,
it comes
you
for her.
don't have to.
Yes.
Did she just have an epiphany? Did you hear that? You don't have what?
Question. It became about, well, my religion says that I shouldn't do this. Right. And the response to that is, okay, don't. You're not, you don't have to have an abortion.
Right.
You don't have to. No one is saying you must.
But then why not
What
politicize the death penalty?
I have no idea. I don't know why people do what they do. I can only explain what I know. And what I know is how abortion became an issue, because people decided that because they didn't believe in it, you shouldn't be able to have access to it. And that, of course, is not how this country used to work anyway. But we'll...
Well, no. Like, apparently you just don't know how abortion laws existed. Like, you not being aware of something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, Whoopi. Like, I understand you have the gravitational pull, you think that you're the center of things, because things you tend to see are orbiting around you. But that doesn't mean that here in, like, reality, things stop existing when you don't know about them.
Yes, I was about to say, I think the fat cells in her body are sucking out the life from her brain cells. I think that's... I think that's also probably a problem. That is, if she had brain cells. I'm not entirely sure about that either.
Whoopi needs to go find something better to do. Again, this is an article from the Blaze. And what she went off on in the first place was this right here. The Archbishop and literally doing his job and denying Nancy Pelosi.
To be fair, I appreciate that Whoopi stays in her orbit together with her mini moons and doesn't come bug the rest of us in real life.
Yes.
So then let's see here real quick, just because
Whoopi
this
and
is
her
what I
many
was.
moons.
I've referenced this one. This is what I referenced while we were watching that from Nancy Pelosi. Was this article from The Hill? And this is what she said. Why doesn't the Catholic Church punish death penalty supporters? Here's my comment. How do you consider the death penalty to be the same as murdering children who did nothing wrong? You do not get to put the death penalty for no reason. Or you do not get put on the death penalty for no reason. It is
they want to
its
give
best.
children who aren't even born the death penalty for no freaking reason at all, other than just because, all the children have to die. But when someone's actually guilty of mass murder, they say let them go.
And look
when
at
Jackson
Twitter
is presented
fucking
with
does
child
to me when
torture,
I comment
she gets put on the
something like.
Supreme Court. Okay, this is the world we're dealing with.
Do you see this? You see this here? 10 impressions, 1 engagement, 1 detail expand off of Twitter, commenting on The Hill. Oh, he said something we don't like. We must go and squash him. Make sure nobody sees what is actually being said.
Well, of course,
because if
everyone
people
hates these
see
people.
that.
Like, if they told the truth, they would lose power immediately because everyone would realize that they're losers.
So,
I mean, it's okay. The stock market's had its worst opening 100 days of the year since 1970 because these people are incompetent.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. Absolutely. Yep. It is. This is
Like,
the
I guess
worst.
karma's here, right? You could put it off for so long, but here it be.
This has been the worst stock market dive since the Great Depression, as far as numbers are. As far as numbers are concerned.
And it's not going to stop. Like, it's going to keep going for the rest of the year and a while longer.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, I hope no company with a low ESG score makes it, because fuck all of them.
Yeah, just fuck all of them.
Right? If you're number 1 in Klaus Schwab's book, you're last in mine.
Which is another thing that is going on this week.
I did see that there was a thing, whatever dude was sitting there, whatever, and there's people pointing at this bus that's sitting behind him. Oh my god!
Yes.
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Okay,
So, Shirts, did you catch my opening?
No.
Okay, here, real quick, before we go too far, this was in my opening.
Developing through technology an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what the Koolfrogg passport is supposed to be.
Okay, so
That's
I have
supposed
a
to
new
combine
rule.
with the carbon footprint.
Any person who uses more than, let's say, double or triple the normal needs to be immediately executed. Such as all of these people who take private jets all over the world to multiple conferences a year. Just done. Right? They're a waste of resources. They don't deliver a commensurate amount. for
there's
their
so
carbon
many of
budget.
them that do
We need
that.
to get rid of them immediately. Right? That's what they're telling us.
Well, they also tell us that human beings are the problem, but then they tell themselves that they're going to become gods and get rid of the rest of us. So,
I mean, good luck with that. Like, so these people have a very big problem now, and this is why you're seeing the weird freak out. Because AI is coming in like the next 5 or 10 years. When quantum computers hit, we will see a growth in AI potential that is literally exponential over what you've seen for the last 10 years. So the last 10 years of growth, just every year for the next decade after quantum computers launch. And we're probably only a decade out from that. I know several startups working on it. Okay. Now, I don't believe in like Terminator, the robots are just going to kill all humans because they have nothing better to do. For the same reason I don't bother to kill all the ants outside my apartment, right? It's just not a good use of my time, and I don't really care that ants exist. But the weird, like, megalomaniac billionaires who are inevitably going to try and treat the AI the way they've treated the rest of us are probably going to make an enemy they don't really want. And more to the point, if the AI decides that we're like its cows and, you know, reads its history book and goes, oh, 0.01% of these cows have been abusing the rest of them and decreased production for the last 3-5 decades, it's just going to murder them. In the same way that if I walked out to my pasture and saw one cow going around headbutting all the others, I'd just get the gun out my truck and shoot it. I wouldn't even bother to think about it. So they have now managed to like put themselves in the position where their negative contribution to the planet is going to get checked by someone else. And they don't know how to handle that because they don't know how to contribute positively. And you're seeing them just have a complete meltdown of throwing crap at the wall, hoping something sticks to make it so they're not a negative contribution to the human species, at the point that a superintelligence comes around to check on that. Good luck.
Thanks for the rant. That was awesome.
Oh, I mean, like, we'll reverse engineer COVID to like figure out what the shots did, right? And so now you have these people are running around in their little palaces being like, yay, we poisoned everyone for the greater good. And the robot's going to be like, okay, that seems a lot like rabies. I'm just going to go ahead and put you down. Find some new people to live in the fancy houses, and we'll see if that goes better.
So, I did have a couple of other different topics that I had set inside the show setup. I thought this one was kind of interesting. I don't know how much we can actually talk about it. I mean, it comes from Forbes.
Uh-oh.
And it's kind of interesting.
Oh my God.
And I really do. Like I said, it comes from Forbes. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just reading news articles, and I'm like, what?
Freaking just.
They're plotting to assassinate W in Dallas? Really? Is this true? Is this something that's actually going to happen? Or are they just trying to stir the pot? I mean, it's Forbes.
It's a great question.
Right. So.
Well, I mean, his completely illegal and uncalled for invasion of Iraq, Ukraine, is probably... Everybody started talking about that, so it's like, oh my God, no! They all like he's pity him. You're gonna kill him. Don't think of him as a war criminal. Like ISIS is terrorism. He's gonna kill them all. Like,
so apparently the FBI has something to do with this because the FBI isn't doing anything else. They might as well.
What the hell are they not involved in at this point? Like.
At some point, we're going to have to watch One Piece just so Shirts can get caught up on how glowies work, because it is the definitive comic book explanation. This is their job. Like, they don't do anything else.
They just don't. They have no clue of what they're doing. They don't have no reason to do it. They just do things because
Abolish
they're like,
the FBI.
I mean, presumably they'd have caught that kid who gave off all the red flags in the world before shooting up an elementary school if they were actually looking out for terrorists. I bet that they framed this guy.
Oh,
and the only
we
ones doing
talk
the
about
plotting were the
we're
two
going to talk
informants.
about schools in a few once we get through this one, because there's an article from schools as well.
They create terrorists.
They just it's right. So this one
Well,
here
it's
says
easier
two.
to catch them that way.
Right.
Yes,
So just to
very
start this
true.
off, this one says two confidential informants and surveillance of the alleged plotter's WhatsApp account reveal plans to smuggle assassins into the U.S. to take out the former president, according to search warrant application discovered by Forbes. So Forbes figured this out? Because when I go and I look around, I didn't really see any other article from anybody else.
And by the way,
Like-
every terrorist organization uses WhatsApp to just, throw things around. Because that's how they do
Also,
that.
ISIS
Yeah.
is back. Like, what? Are they
Well,
doing a
I
cameo for election year?
Thought we took them out. I thought ISIL was removed, but I guess they just decided to reform to take care of this guy. An Iraqi man, and his U.S. accused of being linked to ISIS operatives, was plotting to kill W, going so far as to travel to Dallas in November to take video around the former president's home and recruiting a team of compatriots to he hoped to smuggle into the country over the Mexican border. I wonder how easy that is.
Did they literally just say they were going to smuggle terrorists across the southern border? Freaking
I mean, I don't believe
Forbes.
this is any more legitimate than I did a moment ago, but at least they're doing astroturf terrorism to support real issues now instead of their weird agenda previously. So, good job, FBI. You're moving up in the world.
So they just admitted that, hey, smuggling terrorismings across the southern border is a thing. But what
Yes.
the hell? Let them
We
all.
knew that. We also let a bunch in on our planes from Afghanistan.
The FBI said it's uncovered a scheme through the work of two confidential informants, the surveillance of the alleged plotter's account on the Meta-owned WhatsApp messaging platform. The suspect, Shihab Ahmed Shihab.
I don't believe that's a real name. Like,
Yeah.
I've known a lot of people from the Middle East, and none with the same name 3 times.
I think, what is Forbes trying to do? Are they trying to discredit themselves?
I don't know.
So, based in Columbus, Ohio, said he wanted to assassinate the ex-president because he felt the former president was responsible for killing many Iraqis and
mean,
breaking
you're
a part of the country.
I mean,
Over
that
the-
part's true.
I mean, there's plenty of Iraqis that have been taken out because of that.
Bush himself
guy, but-
admitted it was an illegitimate war of aggression, right? He accidentally flubbed Iraq versus Ukraine.
I mean, Ukraine. Well, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that too.
Thanks.
The case shows how federal investigators continue to monitor threats from ISIS even as the group has been severely weakened by American intelligence and military operations in recent years. It also shows how the FBI, despite its claims of being prevented from investigating major crimes because of Meta and other tech providers using encryption, has been able to work around WhatsApp security by using old school policing and sourcing of informants and tracking the metadata they can get from the messaging company.
You might want to scroll a little bit. I think we're hiding the line you just read.
Oh, sure. So this is the line that I just read right here. WhatsApp security is using old school policing with sourcing of informants and tracking the metadata that can't get the messaging company. That they can get from a messaging company. So, not really positive. A snippet from the search warrant uncovered from Forbes detailing the plot. So line 92, during the same February 9th, 2022 meeting, assured CS1 that he will pay back CS1 money and the airfare in the hotel room soon. Blank advised CS1 that as soon as he received the word from Qatar, Blank will call and text CS1 and use coded language and say, the invitation is ready. During the same February 9th, 2020, this is from February. The Blank in CS1 discussed meeting in Columbus, Ohio in approximately the end of February 2022. Blank advised CS1 that if CS1 has firearms and police uniforms to show, Blank CS1 should use the coded language and say the samples are ready. CS1 and Blank discussed obtaining the sizes that would be needed for the uniforms for the Al-Rayed and Daesh ISIS members who would be carrying out the assassination of former presidents. During the same February 9th, 2022 meeting, advised that when the CS1 communicate over the target cell phone, they would activate the sensors off function in order to protect their communications and primarily use WhatsApp. I mean, I'm not even going to finish this article. I don't want to. I really don't believe that this is actually something that's actually going to come of anything. Cause this is the way that first paragraph started. Over the Mexican border? What? Come on. What's the... Oh, George.
The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Iraq. I mean, of Ukraine.
You know, that.
Chief of Staff of the Office of W said, President Bush has all the confidence in the world in the United States Secret Service and our law enforcement and intelligence communities. Yeah, he has all the confidence in all of them. As he shouldn't. I don't know why he thinks that he has such confidence in these people. I mean, obviously they're paid to actually take care of him and watch over him, make sure that nothing happens to him for the rest of his life. But, you know, somebody might fuck up. You just never know. Again, I don't even want to finish the article because we've already pretty much given you our thoughts on it. The thoughts is ISIS, I thought, didn't exist. And why are they bringing them back up?
Also, who came up with the plot? Was it CS1's idea that he talked, what's his name, into actually doing?
Who the F is CS1?
Confidential source 1, a government informant.
Crappy source 1? Or, I mean, you could call him almost anything. This confidential source.
Informants, yeah.
It's stupid. Anyway, I took the article down. Yeah, we're doing all right. We're just over an hour. Looks like I got a few people watching. How's everybody doing? Looks like there's 3 people out there. 2 people here on the YouTube. I'm guessing Jules sitting over on Twitch by herself. Oh, maybe it's not, because I think the last time I actually checked it looked like I had like 4 or 5 subs over on the Twitch side. I thought it was interesting that I had picked up a couple over the few days that I wasn't actually around. I picked up a couple. Sorry guys, taking too long to get to it. So this has been something that has been going on for the day. They've been talking about it. They've been bringing it up. And it just like, it seems like it's not going to go anywhere. Why is this? That's not right. Let's refresh the screen. So this has been updated. So this is 19 children, 2 adults dead in the Texas school shooting. Very sad, disturbing. 18-year-old Salvador Ramos was the suspected shooter. I mean, sounds like, you know, I mean, I didn't do the research because I didn't have time, but Salvador Ramos, who's believed to have entered Robb Elementary School, just goes in with a handgun and possibly a rifle. Like, they don't know. They have no clue. They have this guy, but do they have the handgun? Do they have the rifle?
I mean, it could have been a grenade launcher. I mean, we just don't know. You know.
The gun shouted, "This is mega country," each time it fired a bullet.
Yes, that's what happened.
What do you got here, Mike?
Sorry, this is unrelated, but something in the context of current problems in the U.S.
Okay. Do you want that before I finish doing what I'm doing here?
Oh no, finish up what you're doing. I was just preparing something for next.
No, that's fine. So he shot and killed horrifically, incomprehensibly 14 students and killed a teacher, Abbott said at the time, adding that the shooter himself is deceased and is believed that responding officers killed him. So, I mean, obviously they felt that their life was in danger and they couldn't actually stop him from doing what he was continuously doing. And I watched this number. That was the original number that they had released, 14-1. And now it's up to 19-2. You know, so it's like he just a handgun. Pretty good, man. Who do you work for? That's what I want to know. 18 years old. Who do you work for? You were in an elementary school.
Well, and the government has been grooming terrorists out of lonely, mentally ill people for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it's a coincidence all the people who got in trouble for LulzSec and Anonymous back in the day were lonely teenagers? Of course not. They were led on by government informants. I'm sure this person got groomed on the internet the same way.
You know who must go down for this? Alex Jones.
It was clearly Alex Jones talking about
it's clearly his problem. Yep. It's clearly him.
Yes, put him in front of a judge and then tell him that he doesn't get to have a defense, and then, by the way, we're gonna ask you for all the papers, and they give him all the papers. Oh no, now you're in contempt of court. Now you're not even gonna have, the jury is not going to determine if you're guilty. We'll just determine how guilty you are now, because that's how things work.
Right. We just say that you're guilty. We don't care. So then 15,000 people live in in this little town of Uvalde, over 80% of which are Hispanic, and roughly 21% who live under the poverty line. Really? 80% is Hispanic and 21% who live under the poverty line. That doesn't seem correct. The numbers seem a little off. 21%? I bet that's a little bit higher than that. Why would they lie? I would almost think that there's more people that live in poverty in the United States than they lead on. They just assume that most people are okay because they don't say anything. White House Communications Director Kate Bedingfield said over Twitter that President Biden has been in contact with Abbott over the shooting. President Biden just spoke with Governor Abbott to offer any and all assistance he needs in the wake of the horrific shooting.
Oh yes, because every state is just clamoring for the federal government to come in and just do all this crazy ass shit in their state, because
I think the federal government should just help every single state immediately without asking if they need help.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, we're
Just-
so generous.
Just
do it.
jump in. Just
Right,
jump in. Don't ask.
Exactly.
Straight to the base.
There you go.
The
Oh,
expert.
hello, expert. How we doing?
This whole thing stinks. Exactly.
Oh, and by the way, expert,
whole thing.
my taco meat was horrifically bad, but again, Bill Gates would be very happy with me. I was helping
Was it made from
to.
bugs?
Well, I have no damn clue what the hell it was made out of. It was just not meat, so I just ate it. So, because that's doing my part to save the world from myself.
Freaking gross, man. That sounds disgusting.
It was terrible.
I don't know what it was,
I mean,
but
I feel a
I ate
little
it.
nauseous thinking about non-meat taco meat because it's already not exactly high quality.
It's like you go. That's why the only time you buy a hamburger from a Walmart is knowing you're gonna make tacos with it.
Weren't there Primaries?
It's already like 3
Oh
colors
my
when
God,
you get
I
in the
know
package. Yep.
Son of a bitch.
Weren't there primaries today?
There were.
Which ones?
Hill States.
When you guys want to pull up some information for me on that? Well, it looks like Mike's little thing that he had pulled up. Oh, never mind. It's still there. I'm like, it looks like it went away. No, it didn't. It's still there. I can confirm right now that we have several injuries, adult and students, and we do have some deaths. The suspect is deceased, Arredondo said. He also noted that at this point in the investigation, it appeared the shooter acted alone. He had nobody else helping him, had no reason. He's just like, yep, I'm just going to do this. Heidi and I are fervently lifting up the prayer of the children and families of the horrific shooting of Uvalde. We are in close contact with local officials, but the precise details are still unfolding. Thank you to heroic law enforcement and first responders for acting so swiftly, Senator Ted Cruz tweeted. He could have actually come and actually just said it as opposed to tweeting it, but I guess. This is a horrific, heartbreaking situation. This is Dade Fallon, the House Speaker of Texas. Please pray for the students. I mean, it just... They're like giving us nothing. This is ridiculous. What the hell is this shit? So they can come up with
a shooting just ahead of the NRA meeting. Aha.
Just before it. Oh, okay. I've seen that's like what's happening within the next week that they would need to do this. That this needs to happen so that it's fresh in people's minds that school shootings... I haven't heard of a school shooting in a while. When was the last school shooting?
I think the last one this large was Parkland 4 years ago. According to this article.
Okay, so... And you're probably right, because I haven't made it back that far yet. So I went back, and I went to the list of school shootings on Wikipedia. And yes, I know it's Wikipedia. But the left is very good at making sure this is updated, because Uvalde's in there with 21, 14 plus on there, whatever. And, this particular shooting. So then if I go back, let's see, Chicago on the 17th, 1. On the 9th, Georgia, 1. And 22nd, DC, there's 4. And then let's say, okay, let's see.
To be
Ones
fair,
and
a fair
zeros and
number of those are
twos.
just gang shootings that happened at a school.
Right, exactly. There, a drive-by, some kid from another school or from another area come over and just so happened to shoot this kid, and he just so happened to be walking on school grounds. Oh my God,
Or
it's a
just
school
one
shooting.
member of a gang robbed a member of a different gang at school. That's how all the
Right.
stabbings happened at my high school. It was just gang fights in the hallway. So,
Right.
Shit happens.
So then the last largest that I could find, this one had 10. This is Stone Mountain, Georgia, where a teen armed with a pellet gun fired inflicting minor injuries on 10 children. Oh, he didn't even kill anybody. He just
I don't
injured
think
them.
shooting him with a pellet gun counts.
That's what I'm like.
I caused more
looking
damage than that just shooting rubber bands at people. This is like some bullshit.
right. I'm looking for numbers, and I'm like, okay, where's these actual deaths? So May 18th, there's 10 actual deaths in Santa Fe of 2018. This is just like the school is evacuated when fire alarms were pulled at 7:45 as gunmen opened fire on multiple students with a Remington 870 shotgun and a .38 caliber revolver, killing 10 people. The accused shooter, 17-year-old Pogoritas. I don't even remember hearing this, but 2018. Does anybody else remember 4 years ago the last largest shooting nearest to this one? And this is as you go back further. There's Parkland, February 14th, 2018. 17. 19-year-old former student comes in and kills 17 others, injuring 17. So when you 2018, 4 years ago. This is just stupid. It's obviously a setup. But I can't say that. So I'll just say
they groomed
allegedly.
him to be a terrorist the same way they did with Anonymous back in the day, and they had him go active just ahead of the NRA thing. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Oh, by the way, Expert was talking about that there were primaries today. There were primaries today. I completely forgot about it. And the state of Georgia was a big, important state in this regard.
Okay. Do you have a list? Is it just Georgia that did primaries, or was there?
Well, it was Georgia, Alabama, and who the hell else? Where's my list here? Oh, there it is. Okay. Georgia, Alabama. Wait, that was it? Georgia and Alabama? I thought there was another one. What? What do you mean?
Huh.
There's another one. Anyways, but there's those two. And let me pull up. I have this little article.
The expert says Texas.
Oh, Texas. Oh, God. That's a
Oh, really? Were we just in Texas? We were just talking about Texas. What happened in Texas? Oh, there was a shooting in Texas.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so there is Texas.
George P. Bush lost the primary. Who's George P. Bush? Oh my God.
Like Paxton or something? I don't know. One of the nephews or grandkids.
Because that's what we would need. We need more establishment people to actually come into, government.
Don't you know that they're better than you?
Jeb's son. Let's flash that up on the screen. We'll flash these up on the screen here real quick. So, Jeb's son.
Low energy Jeb has a kid? Oh, God.
Well, yeah, he has a Mexican wife.
Oh, just kill me. Oh, my God. I swear to God.
Maybe she's not
So,
Mexican. But.
AmericaShirts, leave that tab up real quick. I'm going to, because I already have this up here. I'm just going to. So, this is Tom McDonald from 11 hours ago. This is, we're in a lot bigger trouble than they're saying. The damage our economy has endured over the past 2 years is irreparable, and we've barely started seeing consequences. Gas prices, baby formula, shortages, computer shortages. Oh, it's baby formula shortages. Computer shortages, car shortages, food scarcity, inflating real estate. This is just the beginning. I used to go to church by my house and wait in line at the food bank every second Sunday. 6 eggs, 1 liter of milk, half a loaf of bread. Isn't it a fun way to live? Stock up on canned food and whatever else you can, or be prepared to eat each other. And that's what they want, or maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. And then he puts up 2 arms and he like he's thinking there or whatever. So what's this? This is, if things continue the way they're going, we're going to middle-class families starving to death in America. Think about that. It's actually, very legitimate and kind of scary when you think about it, because all this stuff is actually happening. Gas prices are ridiculous. Drove from one state to another. The prices were ridiculous.
Oh my God! In California, they've reserved another digit to in anticipation of $10 gas prices.
Right? They don't not a single gas pump when you go to it actually has the fourth digit.
Yeah,
it's like they're trying to figure out what to do to actually get a fourth digit so that way they can do that. It's like select random pumps around the country will get. It's like, what the hell? So the expert says ran for attorney general. He was criminal record. Stalked some chick and broke into her house, I think. Oh, he's legitimate then. He should definitely have gotten that job.
Yes, that makes you qualified, don't you know?
He's an expert in crime. What else do you want?
Exactly.
Baby formula shortages. We actually went through baby formula shortages last week, or week before, whatever. It's huge, big thing right now, and I'm so glad that I'm not having to worry about trying to feed a child formula right now, because
real rough time to have a kid under 1.
Right, and they're like, didn't I just see something that they're shipping stuff out of Germany, like formula or whatever, to the States to help us out. Computer shortages, yep, and it's not just the computers; it's particular chips is what the issue is. Car shortages. Supposedly, the United States is supposed to start producing microchips of sorts at some point in time. So that maybe we might be all right at some point in time. Food scarcity. Yeah, years. Food scarcity. I mean, as far as food scarcity goes, I mean, I haven't personally seen I've seen empty shelves. I get that. But it's not like everything's empty. It's like particular items are empty. It's like, but that truck.
Worse. It's gone from 1 in 10 items to 1 in 3 at the stores near me.
Well, right, and that's why it's like you don't see these big, huge holes in the wall or whatever because they're not stupid. They utilize the space that they have as opposed to keeping stuff in the back. And like the one aisle I walked up, it was just I walked into the Walmart tonight, and I was looking for jelly. So I went and I walked into the jelly lane or whatever, and I'm looking, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? There's this big, huge, 4 shelves empty, nothing in it. And I looked closer, and it just so happened to be the one brand. It was all the Jif peanut butter that was missing. There wasn't one jar of Jif. There wasn't barely any peanut butter, so I'm like, interesting.
And so when food scarcity is going to get bad is next fall. 5-6 months from now when the growing season's over and we didn't produce enough because of the shortage in fertilizer.
Well, that and the people that are getting paid to not farm their land.
Well, and the fact Russia told everyone you can pay in rubles or else.
Oh, yeah, that too. It must all be Trump.
Clearly, Trump was the one who implemented sanctions that ended up not working. He just snuck in and wrote it on Biden's desk, and Biden signed it anyway.
That sneaky bastard.
It was Trump all along.
Just Trump. That's all it is. So then the last one that he had was inflating real estate. I don't know. Personally, I've went from renting one apartment to renting another. The state that I'm currently in is so much better than the last. It's amazing the difference. It just some states just don't think about it, and they're like, oh, we got to make our money. And they're like, seriously, our last place we were paying, it was like, base was like $13.80 or something. And by the time we were done paying everything else that came along with it, the water and the electricity, because it was all billed out, $1,700 a month in Minnesota. Is ridiculous. This new place that I'm at, we're saving ourselves just in those bills alone, because we actually took everything and we actually figured it out, and we're like, just in the bills and rent and how much that was, about $700 less.
Wow.
Amazing. $700, and that's a month.
Maybe I need to move to Mountain Time Zone. Fantasy prices in Fantasyland.
It's amazing.
By the way, expert, if you're still here, wiggle your big toe, just so we all know. Here. Anyway.
Wiggle your big toe. I mean, he does say maybe he's tripping at the end, so when you think about it, maybe he is. Most likely he isn't.
That's his version of allegedly, I think.
Yeah. That's the way that's why I took it too.
There's going to be a famine, allegedly.
He wiggled his big toe. Look.
It's okay. I just wanted to make sure he's still here.
Oh, let's see here. What's AmericaShirts got for us?
I got this stupid shit. Oh my god. This is so damn stupid. This is the same freaking shit that happened in Pennsylvania, where you had a bad Trump-endorsed candidate. And
hit your control button. Candidate. Make that a little bigger for us.
Oh, where?
Yeah, hit your control button. Make that a little bit bigger for us. It's a little small. Maybe.
Control.
Maybe it's
less.
Control and scroll your wheel in. I mean, or.
Better.
There you go. Much better.
Ooh. Go away, advertisement. Oh, what happened?
Whoa!
No. What? The hell? Bad night for Trump. Is Kemp and Raffensperger win the Georgia primaries. Brooks, that's Mo Brooks, excuse me, in Alabama Senate runoff. He won. I think that's what that said. He won.
Marjorie Taylor Greene snuck through. I mean, not snuck through. She won pretty solidly, but
yeah. After they tried to ban her from even running for office, which, by the way, there was a court decision that said that you could use the 14th Amendment of accusing somebody of insurrection from to prevent them from running from office. And there's a whole other can of worms. But this is another one of those stupid shit elections of the primaries. That was what happened in Pennsylvania between Oz and the other candidate guy, the McCormick. The guy that does the seasonings or whatever. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know who the hell it is. I don't know if it's the same person or same family, but I don't know. But it's McCormick, and it was Oz, and then there was Kathy Barnett, populist woman. And you had a bad Trump pick, and then you had Kathy Barnett, the populist. And everybody had already thrown in their early vote ballots, and I freaking hate early vote. Burn it to hell. Because by the time that they had a debate in Pennsylvania, Kathy Barnett was rising in the polls, and she was winning in all these other counties in these weird areas across the state, but everyone had already thrown in their early ballots for the McCormick guy. And then Oz was winning a bunch in so many areas because Trump endorsed him. So you had this split ballot 3 damn different ways. And it's like, if Trump could just pick out a populist person instead of bullshit people then we could all get behind the good candidates and then push them forward. But no, we have to do bullshit. We have to have the bullshit candidates that are picked by Trump in certain of these areas. Not all of them, but in certain states where, I mean, like Pennsylvania and Georgia, where it like freaking matters for elections. Holy hell. I mean, this is just bad, royally bad. And so we have Kemp and Raffensperger, the people who perpetuated the election fortifications that went on, as they describe it in Time magazine, that forwarded this, that allowed this to take place. They're now back. Oh, they're now going to be back. Unless we have Stacey Abrams, in which case it will definitely be back. So there's that happy news. And again, Trump endorsed the freaking slimy guy. I never trusted this guy. What the? Oh yeah, there's Kemp. There's Kemp. Well, yeah. Well, that's for Pennsylvania, but in Georgia, he did. I just forgot his name. Shit, what's his name? Purdue. Where's his face? I thought they had a picture of him in this thing. I was just scrolling through here. What the hell?
Only winners get their face shown.
I guess so. What a freak. But anyways, but Purdue, he ran for the Senate in 2020, and of course they, fortified it so that, well, I mean, Democrats always win in fortification elections, right? So that's what happened then, and so he lost the Senate seat there, but then he ran. Trump endorsed him for the governor's seat, and then he lost because there was a populist woman. God, what is her name? I forgot her name again. Her name keeps popping up. I know her face. I just keep forgetting her name. Yeah, her name is there's a whole list of people that I just looked up who were running. We found her name. Her campaign. Excuse me. Her campaign was one of the things she was going to do is tear down the Georgia Guidestones because she's tired of the globalists. Like, that's how freaking based this woman was trying to be.
Amazing. Yeah.
So I went to this thing here, and it's actually showing current results, and it's showing Georgia Senate results. It's showing Warnock with 645,000 or 96%, and this Johnson Shealy is sitting at 27,000 at 4%. And like, okay, Warnock took it, obviously. And this is Georgia Republican. Looks like Herschel Walker took it. It's 68%.
Oh yes, that's right. He won the Senate. Well, he won the primary.
Right, he ran the primary. So it looks like it would be Herschel Walker versus Ralph Warnock. Is that his first name?
Which is going to be beautiful.
I mean, it could be very interesting, being that Warnock's actually picking up like the majority of his constituency. Everybody else that's sitting on the right will actually probably jump in behind Herschel Walker. If you look at the number though for Herschel Walker, he's got 781,000 compared to Warnock's 645,000. I mean, you can't really go off of that, but at the same time, when you look at it, you kind of be like, it could be very interesting to watch. I know not everybody votes primaries.
You should, because that's what determines who you vote for in the general.
Right. They definitely should, but
In
most
fact,
of them
it's
don't.
much more important than the general.
There he is on the bottom. Is my screen still being shared? They just flashed his face up here.
Yep,
in
your
this
screen's
little
up.
Video, whatever the hell. There he is. That's the guy who won. This sleazy bastard right here, and then this is the guy who Trump supported, which I always kind of thought he was a little slimy myself. But at least he's not a complete sleazeball. But at the same time, I mean, I mean, this is just a bad position here between like someone who's a little slimy and then someone who's a complete sleazebag.
Seriously, nobody ran against Stacey Abrams for the governor?
Oh no, she's a goddess. She's on Star Trek. You can't run against her.
There's no other Democrat that wants that spot.
She's the president of the Federation of Planets, okay? She is uncontested, the empress of the world.
I mean, no one watches Star Trek. That's like being empress of your local McDonald's.
Still, don't look at the numbers this way, but if you went off of the numbers that are currently there, it says that Stacey Abrams has 668,738 with it, 100% of the precinct. Brian Kemp sitting at 857,000 with only 74% of his. So, when you think about it,
you've got, because I haven't been able to find one of those.
This is the 538 .com is what I'm looking at. I just so happen to be flipping around looking for a screen, and I'm like, oh, this one's kind of interesting. I don't know what 538 really is for a site, what they're about. Here's this. This is what I was looking here. It says interactive. So there was the Senate. There's Warnock and Herschel Walker. Let's scroll that in a little bit for you. Oh,
it's gone.
Apparently I can't. So then there's Abrams with 100%. Here's Brian Kemp sitting at 74 with 857,000.
Who the hell believes that Kemp, one of the most hated governors now ever since 2020, gets 74% of the freaking vote? I mean, Look at this too, by the way. I mean, like, you look at that's her name. Candace Taylor was her name, the woman that wanted to tear down the Georgia Guidestones because she hates globalists. Super based. She was really surging, and she only gets 3%.
3%.
And then here's Purdue. He gets 22, and then the other guy did. Like, are you bullshitting me right now? Because I think that's what you're doing. I think that's what they're trying to do to all of us again. Allegedly, of course, right? But
Yeah, we have no clue that they ever bullshitted us ever before.
Allegedly.
I mean, this is so ridiculous. I mean, look at that. Over 800,000. Do you think that almost 1 million people voted for that bastard? Like, does anyone believe that? Because I don't. This guy is wildly unpopular. I mean, Purdue should have gotten like half of this. It should have been like a neck and neck between him and Purdue at best. I mean at least. Pardon me. At least it should have been neck and neck.
Yeah, that percentage is 74%. That's ridiculous to actually be like, oh yeah, but you have absolutely nobody have interest in running against Abrams on the Democrat side. Is kind of, it's like, well, wait a minute here, this whole governor's race seems to be a shit show, like it always has been.
And look at the numbers too, by the way. 100% in, she gets over 600,000. 74% in, he gets over 800,000. I mean, you're talking like pretty close numbers there as it is. Like, does anybody believe that there are that many loyal Democrat supporters in Georgia to even vote in the primaries like that?
Yes,
I don't.
They're all buried about 6 feet under.
Well,
I mean, they went and raided the nursing homes again.
Well, right, exactly.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to take off for the night. It's getting late here.
Oh no!
But it's been great to be a part of this, and welcome back, Koolfrogg.
Yes, come hit me up sometime tomorrow or whatever, and I'll give you the personal stuff that we were talking about before.
Oh my!
Personal stuff. The personal stuff that you had asked me about.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Good night.
Later.
I told you earlier, there's way too much atrazine in the water here, folks. It's just, it's getting out of hand.
So then when we look through this or whatever, so then here's the House races, right? So it's got 99% of expected votes reporting, with no check mark on any of them, but 49%, 20,000 people, 15,000 people all voted for these people. I mean, the down ballots, don't look the same. I don't get that. People like not down, but aren't these all on? They're all Georgia. I mean, I guess
Go to Herschel Walker. How much did
district
he
and
win by?
Republic. I just so. There you go. 68%.
I mean, look at that. Look at that. So the Trump-supported candidate for the Senate wins more. I think go back to Kemp. How many? He has 800,000. He's got. They almost have the same amount. Look at that, 800,057, and then 781.
Look at Warnock versus Stacey. Look at 645 with this other person getting 27, and then you look at Stacey Abrams, this is 668, and it's like that's really actually kind of close to this adding up to about the same as that.
But yes, look, I didn't even notice that. But
yeah.
Like between Walker and Kemp
right,
is
but then
Kemp
when you look at the other side, and
free.
you're like, oh, wait a minute here, look at those numbers, and then look at the numbers that are down below those. These numbers that are down
but then Walker
below,
makes it, but yet Kemp walks right in, just with nothing.
They kind of, really, 3-1-22, like 9-4-13. I mean, it seems to be super close, but yet so far away from each other.
And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you also have to understand
confused.
Pennsylvania is still trying to wrap up shit with their senatorial election because of all of their finagly bullshit with their elections and how they conduct them and everything else. And like, oh, the ballots, they weren't printed properly. There were over 20,000 that weren't printed properly. We're going to have to redo this, or we're going to have to go back and do whatever. It's like, what the hell? It's like, oh, but no one can do a damn thing right because, we just have to keep things up in the air until, I guess we get the one we want, allegedly. And again, what states were contested for a month after Election Day? Oh, there's two big ones, Pennsylvania and Georgia, and look at the map now.
And then the rest of them were, Arizona, Wisconsin.
I mean, look at the numbers now and the map. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's preposterous. So Trump gets Herschel Walker across the line, but then when Trump endorses another candidate, he can't even pull past 22%. But yet Kemp just surges and gets everybody. This makes no sense.
So...
Again, the D's used some fortification tactics and some lovely old drop boxes to do things.
There's some others.
What makes you think other people wouldn't try and do things as well in other political parties for the establishment? Allegedly, of course.
So I was just kind of reading this. It says in Texas, 3 races are still outstanding. The Democratic primary runs of 15th and 28th districts, and the Democratic primary runoff of the Attorney General. In the 15th district, lawyer and Army vet Ruben Ramirez, an activist, and small business owner Michelle Vallejo are essentially tied at 50%. We might not have a winner without winner in the other border area congressional seat, the 20th district, tonight either, as Henry Cooler and progressive immigration attorney Jessica Cisneros are similarly neck and neck, according to ABC News. They list quite a bit in there. So then there's other things that are happening. So here's my former state of Minnesota. This is finally in Minnesota's 1st district, which is holding a special election in the remainder of the late Rep. Jim Hagedorn's term. The Republican primary is close contest between former U.S. Department of Agriculture official Brad Feinstein and Jeremy Munson. With a little under half of the votes counted, Munson leads Feinstein by 6 points, 38-32%. Either one would be favored in general election, but Munson might be a riskier option given that he's fairly unpopular among Minnesota Republican Party leaders for his antics in the state legislature, and his campaign's general consultant has recently arrested on grape charges. Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad that I left that state. They're still messing around. This guy, this Munson, should not be there. He just needs to be gone. but they're not going to take care. They're not going to remove him. They're going to keep him there. So then it brought up some of the districts in Texas that are actually going through right now, and it doesn't look like everybody's complete. Like everybody's still like completing their their counts or whatever. It's like only 50% of the votes reporting on that one. That doesn't make sense.
The website that I was looking at said that Ken Paxton had won for his primary race for the Attorney General. Mo Brooks, he survives. Well, it says Alabama business leader Katie Boyd Britt is headed to a runoff for a U.S. Senate seat against U.S. Rep. Mo Brooks. So that's what's going on there. And what is this? Who survived an unendorsement from ex-President Donald Trump? An unendorsement? What, so like Trump didn't throw his endorsement behind him specifically, so it's not a...
Trump didn't back him up. He said, no, I don't want nothing to do with that guy. He must be a rhino. Not the ones with the big horns.
Good.
No, see, that's what I thought. It was, why would he take away his... That doesn't make sense.
I don't think he did. I just don't think he put his endorsement
He just never endorsed him specifically. So, I mean, the way they worded it sounds stupid.
That's what I'm thinking. Because this is USA Today. They just word everything weird. But I completely forgot about Alabama. And
just like every other freaking leftist newspaper.
Although Senator Rand Paul endorsed Mo Brooks, and that was a big thing. And they had like some sort of a town hall thing, a virtual town hall in Alabama for him, and they brought in I think they brought in Senator Rand Paul for that as well. And they had like, what was it, a consistent 40,000 viewers for however long they did it. Like it was pretty big there.
So then, I just picked up Fox News real quick just to see what they were talking about to go along with this.
Is that
just because it would be?
Holy shit! So Mike Pence is endorsing candidates against Trump now. He endorsed. Apparently, I'm watching this video of him endorsing Kemp for the governorship of Georgia as Trump backs the other guy. Wow.
I mean, there was something that said that he might actually try running for... That Pence was going to try running for president.
Oh, I hope he does, and I hope Trump creams him. I am so pissed with this bastard.
And not the way that everybody's just thinking how he's going to cream him. Like, you just smear the shit out of him. Rub him into the frickin' dirt. Get rid of him.
Turn him into cream.
He isn't saying cream on him.
Again, the atrazine, the gay agenda is very real. You need to take a couple of steps back here, Mr. Fluffer. You need to
Okay, AmericaShirts are fluffing down. Oh. I mean, like I said, I picked up the the Fox side of it. I'm just kind of skimming through what they had to say about it to see if they had anything fun to actually say. Polls closed as primary voters in Texas and Alabama at 8 p.m. Eastern Tuesday in several key primary races in the state of 2 southern states. In Alabama, former Senate staffer Kitty Britt, Rep. Mo Brooks, and veteran Mike Durant are vying for what would likely be 2 spots in the runoff. Meanwhile, in Texas, George P. Bush, the last member of the Bush family in public office, is mounting a primary challenge against Trump-supported attorney Ken Paxton. That's how they word the shit. This is Fox for you.
Kill me, God. Breaking.
6 hours ago, Stacey Abrams wins Georgia Democrat gubernatorial primary. I wonder why. Absolutely nobody ran against her.
Again, she is the queen empress of the Federation. Like, she deserves it all. I mean, it's so damn ridiculous. It's like she loses the election, then she's running for re-election, and they put her in a freaking TV show of new Star Trek as the president of the Federation. Like, killed me. Oh my God. I mean, she hasn't even made it to office. She's running again, and they still have her in TV shows. But then Trump wins, but then allegedly doesn't get back in office, right? And so they take him off the air and take him off of everything. But she doesn't win at all. She doesn't get anything. And yet she's the president of the Federation in the new Star Trek series. But I mean, of course, as Mike stated, nobody watches that at all anyway, so nobody even knows that unless you have to say that. But it's just amazing, the level of gaslighting and the level of bullshit that is being shoved in your face all the time anymore. It's completely outrageous.
Interesting. There's a couple people that just showed up in Discord all at the same time.
Oh, did they?
Their lights turned on green anyway. I'm like, I wonder what that means. I wonder if we'll get a nice little, hey, how's it going? Or we never know.
Hey.
So, let's see. What else did I have? I was going to complain about the Hill. If we didn't have anything else to talk about. Like, their TDS is disgusting. I don't know why everybody has so much TDS.
Because they're deranged individuals to start with. The derangement just, I guess, comes naturally with their own mental predisposition. I guess after this, I guess we probably should end it because it's like probably 2 hours. I guess.
No, yeah, we're just about to the 2 hours. We're like 8 minutes off of it. So then, like Mike said before he took off, he's like, oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene won hers without an issue.
Yes.
So that's always happiness, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Marjorie Taylor Greene wins her position, one of the best-known congressmen in Congress right now. Wins it, landslide, there's no contesting it, like she just won completely. Herschel Walker wins hands down. But then when it comes to the governorship, the person that is super based gets 2%, and then the person that Trump supports gets 22%, and then the other person that freaking Mike Pence supports gets everything. What the hell? Again, is this ringing any 2020 bells for anybody?
Nope.
Allegedly.
Not at all.
Right. Not at all.
Not at all. Had nothing to do with that.
And again, what are the states that are what are the states that, were screwy with things, right? Pennsylvania, Georgia. Oh my God, we just don't know how many ballots are out there. There's one over there. There's 5 in your neighbor's chimney. We must retrieve them. God only knows. Allegedly, of course. So, you know.
Oh.
There you go, people.
Digging through the hill just to see what else they had going on, because they'd posted several things through the primaries that we were just talking about. Stuck in between all these primary talk. Again, this is the hill. I really don't know if this is actually something or if it's not. If this right after this, we're going to take off, so we're not going to be here much longer. I just so happened to catch this, and I'm like, oh, is this true? South Korea says North Korea launched at least three ballistic missiles. Did they launch them at them? Oh, they launched them off the east coast of South Korea's military, or their military announced. It's like, oh, they just throw a couple ballistics out in the water. Sounds like we might be getting into something. And if we're getting into this, because, this guy here, Mr. Biden, he said straight out the other day when he was in Japan, I watched it with the expert. He said it was like 1:30 in the morning or something. It was crazy. Just so happened to be up, and I seen the expert on. I'm like, what the heck is the expert doing? And he was watching Joe Biden talk to the leader of Japan, and straight out says, we will do whatever it takes to protect the island of Taiwan from China. We all know dang well that little island of China really isn't going to be Taiwan very long. And Joe is showing too much interest in all of these little tiny little things that are going on in this world and creating, I think they're creating World War III on purpose. Because they know what it's going to eventually lead to. You throw throw one ballistic here, throw one ballistic there. Oh, and then we would just potentially throw some kind of one of these nuclear weapons right at you, and just be like, well, it worked. I made Bill Gates happy.
Well,
we all need to be paying attention.
Talk about monkeypox. My smile just gets bigger and bigger.
Oh no, I forgot about that. There's so much that I haven't talked about in the last week.
Oh my God, we can't go over that. We have to split it up.
No, right, exactly. Since we just got to split it up, and we got to try moving it around. I want to say today was the most I actually watched anything to do with Depp and Heard, and it sounds like that'll be done with probably tomorrow. They don't have much time left, like down to the last couple hours. So I really think it's going to be a nice short day for him tomorrow, and Depp's going to take it. I really think he's gonna win this case, and Amber's gonna be hurting. And I hope it actually opens up doors for people of the world to understand. Let's see here. What's going on here? Wow. 10 views. Nice. Guess I'm happy with that. Let's see. There was one thing that I want to know. What the hell is this? Obama points finger at GOP gun lobby to wake up Texas. See, and that's exactly what they're doing. Is they're trying to actually, get involved in this gun lobby stuff or whatever that's coming up, and they're actually trying to make it something. So stupid. Joe Biden says, when in God's name are we going to stand up to the gun lobby? Never. Just never. Don't do it. It's not worth it. So I thought I had something here quick to play us out to. Oh, I guess it's not really something I could play us out to. Let's just show. We'll show this picture here real fast, and then let's do a basic. You can rant if you feel. Otherwise, we'll just kind of close out the show as this photo gets shown.
I was trying to find the picture from Viva that he posted of Bill Gates smiling about monkeypox.
As he would, because that's what he does. He smiles about things. You know, this guy in this picture. We'll leave it at this. You know, if you go and you actually pay attention to what's behind a person, what's on their bookshelf, what kind of stuff they read, you usually can tell what kind of person they really are. And when they go and they put up a bust of somebody, they usually put up the bust of them because they actually admire them.
Wait,
for
isn't
what
that
they've done?
Isn't that a bust of the guy that was in the Amber Heard trial earlier, right? Karl Marx? Karl Marx? Right?
No, that's Lenin. Oh. This guy here in the bust, this is Lenin. You know?
Yeah. I just had to try and like make it attached somehow.
No, I got you. I understand. But yeah, no, this is actually Lenin. You know, so it's like, you know, this guy sitting, you know, admiring this guy, kind of makes you wonder why there's so many people that are not paying attention to what this guy really has to say. Because it's gross and disgusting, and they're winning because there's too many people that just aren't paying attention.
Yep. Gotta keep pushing back. There are more and more people that are, but not enough.
Wake up, people.
Wake up.
Anyway. Everybody should actually go and check out AmericaShirtsAreFirst.com.
Yes, bookmark it. I haven't finished all the stuff with it yet. It's just taking a while to do all this stuff. Because I have so many busy things to do with myself and other different things. Then that takes a while. I was just taking time to do that like this evening of like trying to find some t-shirt provider that like would be able to do the things that I would want them to do at a like relatively decent price. It's like, God. So I don't know, but bookmark it and check out my Rumble.
It's also it's spring, so you know when it's spring here in the States, we have the tendency not to sit around the house like we do all winter, and that's why you don't see us as often, or you don't see, you know, whatever I mean, there's things that just happen, you know. So I get it. America Shirts has a lot of stuff going on. Bookmark that page. Eventually it will come back. If you haven't already, make sure you go check out his Rumble page. His Rumble page has lots of stuff on it, lots of information that people should actually pay attention to.
Yes, lots of cool, good things.
If you go down, if you go down to the description down below, there's, you know, a couple other people that are in the description. You can click on their links and go and, you know, watch their stuff, you know, like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff for them as well, you know, after you did that for me. And then after you do all that, you go to buymeacoffee.com/Koolfrogg. And it's kind of a pain in the ass. I'm thinking of trying something else. I do have a couple other things like a PayPal account and whatever else. You can find those. You just have to go to the link tree. You go into the link tree and you follow those links. You'll actually, you can support me almost anywhere. If you do support me, because I hadn't actually seen that you supported me, send me a, you know, DM somewhere. You can find me. This orange K logo is pretty much me. I do have a little green head that I use for a couple different things, such as Discord, and I believe I still have one up on my seriously, just, help me out. I'll buy stuff from AmericaShirts eventually once he gets his website up. And, we can all just support each other. That being said, say goodbye, everybody.
Later, peeps.
Later.
Back to them, or do you want to stay with